I wear sheath underwear. You should wear sheath underwear. And if you'd like to take an advantage of an offer from Sheath Underwear, wait until the end of this video for a brief word from them. Last night on Abby Phillip, on her show, her name is not Abby Phillips, it is Abby Phillip. So I said Abby Phillip rather than Abby Phillips' show. Scott, she had a panel of people on, including a couple of regular, reliable dipshits like Scott Jennings, who carries water, breaks his back carrying water for white supremacy on an almost nightly basis on CNN. It baffles me that he is on CNN's payroll when all he does is reliably provide propaganda and cover for Donald Trump, sane washing Donald Trump's insanity. And that is exactly what took place yesterday, except Ana Navarro took him to task. So much so aggressively, so effectively that he froze. It really, like, you see headlines, you see thumbnails on YouTube videos or titles where they say, oh, he glitched out. It was a giga cringe glitch fest or whatever. This is what happened. He freezes in the moment and doesn't know how to respond, because she's calling him out for defending Donald Trump's racism, J.D. Vance's racism, his party's racism, which is exactly what is motivating this entire they're eating the pets nonsense, this conspiracy theory, this racist lie that's being perpetrated on the Haitian community in Ohio. First, I'm going to play that. And then we're going to get to a clip that actually happened a few moments before that moment that I'm going to share with you, where Ana Navarro lays out the stakes as to why this is dangerous, why this lie is not just about funny memes. It actually puts people's lives in danger because of the environment of political violence in this country that has been fostered by, fomented by, incited by, directed by, created by Donald Trump. First, watch dipshit Scott Jennings panic over Ana Navarro's bringing it to him.
Seems just outlandish and crazy and unnecessary.
I think, and you heard it in Vance's clip, I do think it's a legitimate conversation to have about the societal, public safety, health impacts anytime cities or communities get drastically changed because of our immigration system, whether that's in Springfield, whether that's on the border with Mexico, whether that's New York City, which has had issues. So I don't think that's an illegitimate conversation to have. Even in your answer, obviously you don't agree with where Trump is on it. You admitted there are health impacts and that there have been public safety impacts. Those are not illegitimate. Those are not illegitimate conversations to have. And I think people in communities all across this country are having them. Now, whether we have them responsibly or flippantly, or whether we have them seriously, is the real question.
Yesterday, when he said that, he wasn't being sarcastic, he wasn't being hyperbolic, he was amplifying a conspiracy theory that I think you would agree puts a target on the back of Haitian immigrants, and that it is based on racism. Would you agree on that?
Anti-black racism will be more pointed.
Do you think that if there were 20,000 Scandinavians that had been sent to Springfield, people would be saying that they're eating cats and dogs and geese?
I'm not going to answer for him, for his memes or anything else. But I am
No, but I'm asking you, do you think that conspiracy is based on racism?
Because
I mean, it's an
because
I'm
not going to answer. I don't know.
That was a long pause, Scott. I mean,
because I don't know the answer, and I'm not going to sit here and answer for somebody. I don't talk to Donald Trump about what the motivations are, and I don't answer to you either.
But Scott, what is the answer for you?
But the bottom line is,
I'm trying to give you a thoughtful answer.
Yeah. And I added extra on. You may have seen this clip if you're on social media and you've seen the roughly 1 minute clip. I added the context of what he said prior to that for you, so you'll have all the information. Because what he's doing there, the thing about sane washing, is he's framing it like he did on purpose to say, well, look, it's totally reasonable to have legitimate conversations about this. we're not having legitimate conversations. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance aren't bringing us legitimate conversations. They're bringing us, they're eating the pets, they're eating the cats. They're bringing us lies and conspiracy theory. That's not a legitimate conversation about the stresses and strains on municipal governments when migrant populations grow in those communities. That's not what's being had. What's being had is dangerous invocations of possible violence based on things we've seen in the past, which is exactly why this moment is important, because it followed. He knew. He can't say, I don't know. Ana Navarro, just moments before, laid out what was at stake when these types of conspiracy theories and lies and hatred and racism is just poured out onto the heads of immigrants in communities all over the country. Watch this.
This is from the city manager of Springfield. He says there have been no credible reports or specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community. And then he lists a bunch of other things that there have been no claims of.
Well, he needs to
not
speak
even
to his,
littering.
he needs to speak to his
Okay,
chief
but
of police.
let me just say, so
Okay.
I was on this show the night before the debate, I think, and we had an entire segment, I think it was Tom Foreman, who debunked this. Now, if you're not on Twitter, if you're not on whatever the hell it's called now, and if you're not watching CNN, this thing that Donald Trump all of a sudden said about immigrants eating cats and eating pets came out of left field, and you thought he was completely, absolutely insane. If Joe Biden had said the same thing, he would have been pulled off the stage and sent immediately into a loony bin. But because Donald Trump gets away with being Donald Trump and saying crazy things, what's happening with Donald Trump? Like Kamala Harris says, it is a page from an old, tired playbook. He always goes against immigrants, tries to cause fear, tries to build that into folks going out and voting out of fear. Last week, it was about Venezuelan gangs taking over Aurora, Colorado. The officials of that city said that story was false. This week, it is a completely made-up story about somebody eating a cat and it turning into Haitian immigrants. This is, though, it may be funny to some people. A lot of people have done funny memes. It's also incredibly racist and incredibly dangerous. Because I remember when a whack job triggered by things that were said against Latinos took a gun and went and hunted down Latinos in an El Paso Walmart. And I remember when a whack job triggered by conspiracy theories about the Comet Pizza place in Washington, D.C., and the sex ring that the Clintons were supposedly running there showed up with a gun. So it's crazy. It may be funny. It may lead to a lot of memes, but it's also racist and dangerous, and it is shameful that it continues to be amplified by people like Donald Trump, his followers, and his vice presidential candidate.
And there are a host of other examples. It's not just El Paso, it's Buffalo, it's Pittsburgh, it's Poway. There are dozens and dozens of examples just in the United States where right-wing nuts have resorted to violence to quell the rise of the immigrant menace. They've said as much in their manifestos because these psychos write manifestos. It's members of the Trump cult who are writing manifestos and dispatching mass shootings based on lies exactly like this. So Scott Jennings, broken back carrier of water for racists and mass shooters, can shut his mouth. What do you think? I would love to know. I would appreciate your opinion. You can comment below. That'll help YouTube to share this content with new viewers, and that is great. You can also call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. If you want to help support this work, if you appreciate what I do, if and only if I bring you value, please consider helping produce this content. You can click the join button below, wherever it is over here. Become a channel member for $1.99 a month, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Same deals apply. It's a fundraising mechanism, just like channel memberships over at Patreon. Follow me on social media. I am at Dollemore everywhere. I'd love to see you there. And look, another way to support and look good while you do it, although it'll be under your clothes unless you're walking around in public in your underwear. Sheath Underwear. Check out this offer from them. We are once again faced with a pivotal year. And while we don't have control over everything, we as individuals can affect real change. Am I talking about voting? Sure, of course I am. But I'm also obviously talking about underwear. In a world so rich with options, why would we ever settle for second-rate skivvies? My 2024 pick for Department of the Interior is Sheath Underwear. Sheath is the only underwear with a dual pouch system scientifically designed to keep your president separated from his cabinet. If you catch my drift. Come on, man. Invented by a U.S. Army veteran while serving a tour in Iraq, the idea from Sheath arose from discomfort in harsh environments. As a former Marine stationed in that part of the world, I get the inspiration. I wear sheaths every day. They're the only boxers that can agreeably accommodate my tree trunk thighs while also keeping my jewels carefully compartmentalized. While I'm not the only person choosing them, sheaths are recommended by multiple doctors and urologists and have over 20,000 five-star reviews. It's time to democratize your drawers. Head to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore right now and score 20% off right away. I personally am an airflow mesh guy, but Sheath has tons of excellent styles and designs. And once you pick, Sheath will land them on your doorstep near instantly thanks to blindingly fast shipping and amazing customer service. Additionally, your purchase actually does affect positive change. Sheath supports multiple charities like Socks for Soldiers and Doctors Without Borders, so you're making positive choices for the world too. Upgrade your undergarments. Score 20% off right now when you head to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore. Real change starts with you and your package.